Welcome back to the TikTok Drop Capsule, where reality hits harder than your Monday coffee.
Mass layoffs at health agencies has begun. Here we
What up, guys? Kelvin with West TNTB. By now, everybody's heard about the United Healthcare.
Your favorite travel nurse agency is probably laying a bunch of people.
So I got laid off today. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 3 years. I've been a home health nurse for the past year. Alongside being a home health nurse, I've also been a healthcare coach remotely. A few weeks ago, I was laid off from my second job as a healthcare coach due to Medicaid cuts. Today, I was laid off from my agency due to my client being cut from Medicaid. Mind you, this is healthcare, one of the most lucrative, job secure fields that you could possibly have. And here we are having nurses and doctors being laid off left to right under this administration. And if you ask me, this is only the beginning. If we don't do something now, things are going to get worse after this. You have groceries increase, gas increase, bills increase, unemployment increase. This is crazy. This is crazy. And something really needs to be done.
I just got laid off. I was laid off from my outpatient job and I was working in a NICU follow-up clinic. I have never experienced something like this before. So I'm doing what any sane person would do, which is I'm eating French fries, waiting to go into Hobby Lobby. I will say I'm very thankful that I work per diem. I do have a second job that I'll just pick up a little bit more at. I don't have benefits through this job, so I'm not taking a hit as much as a lot of the other nurses are, but whoa. I have a lot of feelings about this. I think the biggest one I'm feeling though is disappointment and I'm a little bit angry. This is the first time where I have seen with my own eyes that we treat healthcare like a business. Sucks because at the end of the day, the people who are suffering this layoff the most isn't me. It's not the nurses. Although yes, we are suffering. It's the kids. And that's what I'm having such a hard time understanding is why are we doing this when we know the detrimental impact it's going to have on the patients who are the children?
Hey everyone, quick update you need to hear. San Diego-based Sharp Healthcare just announced that they're laying off 315 employees, which is about 1.5% of their workforce. This includes senior executives and roles in medical information and marketing. So what's driving these cuts? According to Sharp, the rising cost of healthcare is outpacing revenue. They are also facing state-mandated seismic upgrades and poor reimbursement rates from payers. So bottom line, they say they can't keep up with the economics. Here's what else is changing. Some staff will see reduced hours and others will be moved into adjusted roles. Sharp says the majority of cuts are in non-clinical areas, so direct patient care won't take much of a hit. Leadership is also fearing the squeeze. Senior execs are taking a 15% pay cut, and the CEO, Chris Howard, is trimming another 10% off of his own salary. So now Sharp is offering severance, extended health care, and career transition support for those impacted, which is better than what some other systems that I've reported have offered. But still, this is a signal that no health system is immune, especially if you're in a non-clinical or even in an administrative role. If you're a nurse or allied health professional thinking your job is secure just because you're not at the bedside, this is your warning shot. So let me know, definitely in the comments, are you seeing cuts at your facility too? And if you're in a non-clinical role, are you making moves to protect your career?
Today's episode, hospitals out here acting like they're broke college students, cutting staff while swimming in profits like Scrooge McDuck. I'm talking about billion-dollar healthcare giants laying off nurses, doctors, and therapists, then calling them back a month later like, hey, bestie, can you train the new person we replaced you with? Yeah, that's where we are in 2025. Buckle up because this one's wild.
Trump administration begins laying off federal workers amid shutdown, more than 4,000 to be exact. Now remember, he said he was coming after Democratic agencies. So let's take a look. But first, you got the Department of Treasury. Approximately 1,446 employees received layoff notices, including around 1,300 at the IRS. Then, just like I thought, the Department of Health and Human Services. Between 1,100 and 1,200 employees were affected. The firings reportedly hit multiple divisions and targeted employees deemed at odds with Trump's administration Make America Healthy Again agenda. Oh boy. The Department of Education. At least 466 employees have received layoff notices. The administration has reportedly fired almost all employees below the director level in the Office of Elementary and Secondary Education. The Department of Housing and Urban Development. HUD. Approximately 442 employees were terminated. The Department of Commerce. Approximately 315 employees received layoff notices. That includes workers from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Interesting. The Department of Homeland Security. Approximately 176 employees have been laid off. The cuts also affected agencies within the DHS, such as the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And last but not least, the Department of Energy. 187 employees have been affected. But there's more, Environmental Protection Agency, Department of Veteran Affairs, Small Business Administration. I'm starting to believe that Russ Vought is the Reaper because this True Social post is becoming way too real. But yeah, if you were wondering if he was coming after those Democrat agencies, he sure did. There's way too much happening in this shutdown.
Right on the heels of National Nurses Week, New York Presbyterian Hospital has announced its plans to lay off about 2% of its workforce, which equates to about 1,000 employees. Don't know yet exactly what the breakdown of those employees is going to be, but we do know that it includes nurse practitioners and nurses. They are allegedly laying off all of their nurse practitioners except the ones that were hired before 2010 and have allegedly already laid off 50 RNs from the Columbia campus, from what I'm told. But are they not still building a new cancer center and enlarging another hospital? But they're citing financial difficulties. Why? Why are they having financial difficulties? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Last week, Columbia University and New York Presbyterian Hospital announced that they have settled a massive class action lawsuit for $750 million involving 576 patients that have accused an OBGYN by the name of Dr. Robert Hayden of sexually assaulting them between 1987 and 2012. But wait, it gets worse. According to federal investigators, Columbia University knew about this for years and years and continued to allow the OBGYN to work for years as patients continued to come forward. Finally, in 2020, federal investigators began investigating, and they have alleged that Columbia University failed to inform the DA when more patients continued to come forward and that they withheld evidence. And to date, as far as anyone knows, no one with Columbia University and New York Presbyterian, none of the employees there have been terminated or resigned in the wake of this. He was finally sentenced in 2023 to 20 years in federal prison, thank goodness. But Columbia University, they have not had to admit any fault whatsoever. But they're now paying out $750 million in settlements while they let him continue to do harm, to actively harm patients. And now, as the trickle-down effect, nurses and nurse practitioners and other healthcare professionals are being laid off. If that doesn't piss you off. The epitome of corruption. And this is not an isolated incident. Stuff like this happens all the time. They always cover it up, especially when it's a doctor.
Let's start with Kaiser Permanente. They made $13 billion in profit last year. Billion, with a B. And yet, they're laying off nurses in Northern California. 42 nurses gone. You ever notice that budget cuts always mean cutting people, not bonuses? It's never, we had to let go of our executive's third vacation home. No, it's always, sorry, Janet, the hospital can't afford your 12-hour shifts anymore. Meanwhile, private equity firms are out here buying hospitals, loading them up with debt, paying themselves dividends, and then filing bankruptcy like it's a side hustle. Oh no, we're broke, they say, while their yachts have Wi-Fi faster than your hospital's internet.
What up, guys? Kelvin with West TNTB. By now, everybody's heard about the United Healthcare, layoff they're getting ready to do. 30,000 people are getting ready to get laid off in May, and I guess 25,000 of the people are eligible for like some type of severance package. And for what I read in the comments, people saying that it's not even close to amount to being fair. So they're just basically just firing you and getting you out of there. But anyway, I was looking some more into it. I found out that these jobs, these Americans that are getting laid off, now they're getting ready to send the jobs over there to India and countries like that, to people that can speak English, and probably to the Philippines. So what I'm thinking is, when you call United Healthcare, when you was getting an American, now you're finna get somebody over there from India or the Philippines that you can barely damn understand. I've seen this happen before. I worked for a company called Dexcom out of San Diego, California. I worked there. I was doing technical support, IT support. And they did the same thing to us. Record-breaking profits. I believe it was like 2019. And then called us in there. We're thinking we finna get a bonus or something like that. And they said, yeah, we had record-breaking profits like last year. But unfortunately, we're getting ready to send your jobs over to the Philippines. They do it all the time. These companies build themselves up. And then next thing you know, ship them off overseas. It's disgusting, man. And I thought Trump was going to try to stop these companies from doing that. Because it is wrong. You know what I mean? United Healthcare is based out of the United States, but then when you got to call customer service or technical support or whatever it is, now you got to call India. You know what I mean? Nothing against people from India, but I mean, come on. Talking about America first. Hell, make it America first. You know what I mean? But these companies, man, I don't even know what to say, man. I can't even call these American companies anymore. Because like I said, this is my speculation, but that's what I'm thinking. If like they're saying these jobs will be filled, it can't be like, I'm thinking like some of the nurses. I mean, can we take advice from a nurse that's overseas? I doubt it. It has to be like the people that are doing the support, you know what I mean, answering the questions and things like that. It's going to be India or wherever they're going to send it to. But anyway, guys, I'm going to do some more research about this, but y'all stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Peace.
Because of that, and the fact that the enterprise continually reassesses our workforce needs, I'm notifying you today that we need to reduce our staffing, and your positions will be eliminated. I'm notifying you today, but however, you will be paid through the employment termination date, which is May 13th. Following our conversation today, you're going to be getting a lot more information, and I'm going to ask
I lost my job yesterday. I was a nurse for a company, and I was laid off. But today I want to tell you why I'm not so worried about it, or why I'm not so mad about it. Yeah, I have been with this company for a while now, and I have been through 4 other rounds of layoffs. So I knew that it was just a matter of time before it was my turn to be laid off. So last year in August, I decided that I wasn't going to just sit around and wait for them to lay me off. I needed a backup plan. I decided to invest in a digital marketing course that has taught me the skills to be able to market literally anything. These are lifelong skills that I'm going to be able to have, and now I have had about 6 months of experience doing digital marketing digital products on social media, making 100% profit. Just the other day, I made a $900 sale while I was working on my wedding invitations. This is why I'm not so scared. I have multiple streams of income that are coming in that I have learned from this course. So if you're interested in learning what I am doing, put info in the comments and I'm going to send you all the details.
So did I get laid off from my job? Today, June 11th, was the day that my hospital is supposed to send out a notification on those who they want to lay off. So I checked my email and your girl's in the clear. Still have my job, and I'm grateful for that. My heart does go out to those who were laid off. One of my coworkers I used to work with on the same floor, she did get laid off. However, she had a per diem position. So, and the first that they wanted to lay off were per diems. Although I'm glad I did not get any notification of myself getting laid off, I am still worried about what the future could hold for CNAs. How long do hospitals want to keep CNAs, even though they are a vital caregiver in the front lines? So tell me, does your hospital still have CNAs? Is your hospital trying to lay off CNAs? And how would you feel if CNAs were laid off? For educational purposes only.
And the fallout? Real people losing real jobs. One respiratory therapist said her entire department got a 3-day notice before the hospital shut down. 3 days. That's not a notice, that's a countdown. And the wildest part? Some hospitals are rehiring the same people they fired, just so they can train the new hires. Imagine getting laid off, crying, healing, moving on, and then getting a call like, "Hey, can you come back and show Chad where the Band-Aids are?" The audacity could fill an entire ER.
So I just thought I would share my last month. So actually 2 months. March 4th or 5th, I can't remember what day it was, I find out I'm going to be laid off from my company that I've been working with for almost 17 years because of financial things. And it's a big layoff. I'm not the only one. And I was devastated. I was grieving. I was mad. Totally felt like a number, whatever. But my company, I'm a nurse. I work from home. We have a union, so we were able to bid for any open positions that were available, but we had to wait, I want to say, a month and a half before we could do that. So a month and a half of just anxiety filled, not knowing what was going to happen. A lot of things happened with me during that time. I was already kind of on the edge because of my chronic hip pain that I'm dealing with, and then that just kind of, they just kind of went bye down the hill. So we have our date to do our rebid. It's a Wednesday. They send us our seniority list, open position list, and you can bump people out of their jobs depending on their seniority. The low seniority list was sent out on Friday. So 4 days before, or not 4 days, 4 business days, I guess. Really, like, what, 6 days before. There was no jobs for me that I could take that would be comparable, because I work from home too. So any of the, if I were to go to a clinic, they were too far from me. So I could either take severance or other options or whatever, or I could take a job that's far away. So I was going to take my severance pay. Sorry. The day before our bid, a more close job opens in a clinic that's close to some people that, and it's not on the list, so they add it. We would tell them, hey, why isn't this on the list? We should be able to bid for that position. Oh, sorry, let's add it. So they add it. I'm number 7 on who gets to choose if you're gonna get a job or not out of 26 LPNs. So when it's my turn to bid, that position's still there. I was like, okay, I guess I'll go work in the clinic. I was fine with it. I've worked at this clinic before. People there are awesome. It's kind of in the ghetto-y area, but whatever. Take the position, excited to still have a job. Receive my acceptance letter. Congratulations on your position. This is your hours, your manager. This is what your pay is going to be. A week later, I get a call from HR. I'm so sorry, that position, we're not filling that because the doctor that they were hiring declined the position. So they're not hiring. Okay, so what do I do now? Well, there's this position, another remote position. There's another clinic position, but it's more downtown Tacoma. I'm in Washington, by the way. And, or you resign. So I had comparable positions. I'm like, that's interesting. Those two jobs were not on our open list of jobs for rebid. Oh, well, yeah, they're there. So I select, okay, I guess I don't want to resign because I won't get severance. So I took the remote position because I've been remote for 3 years now. Take the remote, okay, congratulations, you're going to have the remote job, blah, blah, blah. A couple days go by, I don't receive any, congratulation letter, acceptance letter, your hours letter, none of that stuff. So I'm looking into it, and then I get a call a week later after accepting this from the same guy from HR. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have some good news and some bad news. Okay. What's the bad news? I misspoke. That remote position was actually not available. Okay, so you offered me another job that's not available. That's awesome. Okay, so what do I do now? Well, the good news is the position in the Tacoma clinic, in specialty clinic, is still open. So I have to take that position or I have to resign. Is that what you're telling me? And he's like, yes. Okay. So I said, I'll take that position because I refuse to resign due to their stupidity. As soon as I get off the phone with him, I'm on the phone with my union rep, telling them what the heck's up. We need to rebid because they're coming up with these positions that were not on our... If anybody's ever had to do a rebid in their job, you know what I'm talking about. These jobs that they're offering me were never on the open position when we did our rebid. So I'm like, we need to do a rebid or give me my severance. Well, we're going to work on that. We're going to escalate that. So that was on a Friday. Last Tuesday, I find out, congratulations, you're getting your severance. So sorry we put you through all this. You're going to get your severance pay. Be done, right? Sweet. Cool. Thank you. Love it. Tomorrow's my last day. Actually today is my last day of working with this company. I just have to turn in my equipment tomorrow. But anyways, so today's my official last day. A couple days ago, get a call. Guy introduces himself. Hey, I'm the manager over at this Tacoma clinic. Just wanted to touch base with you since we're going to be meeting each other on Monday. Are you freaking kidding me? So I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I actually took severance pay, and I would have thought they would have notified you that because I've signed my letter and thought everything was kosher. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I never got told that. So thank you for telling me. I'm like, but then I was like, hey, hold on a second before you leave. I say, is there even a position open in your area? He's like, no, they just wanted, they were going to give you this position for however long it takes for them to get that first position, the doctor, sport medicine doctor, hired. Once that guy or girl gets hired, then they're going to put you in to that position because that's what you chose first. I'm like, well, who's to say when a doctor's going to get hired? I mean, it takes a long time to hire a doctor. You got to interview, you got to do all of it. It's not like a quick process whatsoever. And I'm like, oh my God, are you freaking kidding me? They never said that to me. They made it sound like I would be working for you in this building, the end. If I had known that maybe, because I don't want to work in downtown Tacoma. Nothing against there. It's just, anyways, you got to pay to park there as an employee, which is stupid. Parking's awful. I don't want to deal with it. I know that's a dumb reason not to work somewhere, and then I have a bad hip and I don't want to deal with a big ass building like that. And I'm like, but I would have probably dealt with that if I knew there was going to be just a temporary position. And then I would have ended up where I originally asked for. They never told me that. So I get back onto HR and I ream him pretty good. I want confirmation that my severance is actually done, because obviously this guy thinks I'm working for him on Monday. He's like, it is, and I don't know where he got that information. We wouldn't hold a position for you. Then how did he know my whole story? How did he know that was my first job that I asked for? So in the matter of 2 months, you guys took away 4 fucking jobs from me. Thanks a lot. It's just, do better. Just do better. This was a huge emotional, mental roller coaster that I have gone through the last 2 months. And I am so happy that it's over. I'm sad to leave my people, my coworkers, my friends. But do better. I'm not going to say who I work for, because I might go back someday. And people that know me know who I work for. But thanks for listening.
Your favorite travel nurse agency is probably
But
laying
wait,
a
there's
bunch of
more
people.
chaos. Nurses everywhere are being told, well, if you get laid off, you'll find another job. You're a nurse. Excuse me? No. Some of these nurses would rather wrestle a crocodile than go back to the bedside. And let's not forget the budget plan. You know, the mysterious bill that apparently has more healthcare cuts hidden inside than a magician's hat. Nobody knows what's in it, but hospitals sure seem to be preparing for doomsday. Go ahead, Google Hospital Layoffs 2025. It's like scrolling a disaster playlist.
Off. Every week, I feel like I hear about another company releasing a lot of recruiters, compliance people, account managers. So who are those people? We all know what a recruiter is and what their role is at a travel nurse agency. They're our partner, they're our go-to, they're our liaison. They're the person that communicates with all of the other departments so we don't have to as much. Compliance. We know them, we love them, kind of. I was trying not to make that sound sarcastic, but I'm so sorry, compliance. There's no way around it. We love you, but we also hate you. Account managers. So just like our recruiter is our go-to and our liaison, the account manager is the go-to between the hospital or their representative and the recruiter. Basically, an account manager's job is to schmooze the hospital or their representatives so that the hospital favors that agency and the nurses that agency is putting forward. The account managers strive to have a good relationship with those people on the hospital side with a goal of getting placements for their company. I'm also hearing quite a bit about sales managers, team leads, a lot of the marketing departments. Don't come for me. I talked to a lot of you guys in my DMs, so sorry. So sales managers and team leads, they are the ones standing there over your recruiter's shoulder saying you haven't texted enough, you haven't called enough people, you haven't sent enough cold emails, follow-ups. They're the ones that are pushing those recruiters to drive us crazy. Has anybody's recruiter been laid off yet? Let me know in the comments.
Going through a layoff during this time just really affected my psyche, because I thought I was safe, if that makes sense. I thought I'm a nurse. I thought I picked a career that would be stable. I
hope people are paying attention to all of these healthcare worker layoffs happening. Nurse practitioners, nurses, physicians, advanced practice providers being laid off, nurses being laid off, patient care techs being laid off, respiratory, PT, OT, speech. Max, calm down, buddy. What's going on there? Just relax. Primary care offices closing, labor and delivery units closing, entire hospitals closing, urgent cares, emergency rooms, rural access facilities closing. And ask yourself how that could be happening during a respiratory surge. Also knowing how short-staffed facilities already are. Personnel are a cost. Frontline personnel are an expensive cost. Frontline personnel are expensive, and they're expensive to keep. Brand new personnel are a lot less expensive than experienced personnel. They're less expensive to turn over, to temporarily replace. Think about why that's happening. Think about why that is. Considering the immense need for healthcare in this country, consider whether or not you, your loved ones, your family members, your friends have needed healthcare, primary care, specialists, healthcare facilities, urgent cares, hospitals. Consider how often, how frequently you or your loved ones have needed care as of late. How difficult it was to wait, right? Seeing how understaffed healthcare facilities already are. And think about why they would be doing mass layoffs. Do you think it's because they don't need the staff? Or do you think it's because of corporate greed?
Okay, so today was my last day of work. I just finished hyper charting because my access ends at 5 o'clock, and I just dropped off my equipment to the Great Postal Annex. If you have not been following along, my name is Rachel. I've been a nurse practitioner for 4 years, and around a month ago, I decided to put in my notice. I will share more details on that later. But yeah, so I am officially unemployed. Officially a stay-at-home mom.
These bitches tryna set me up. 'Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go.
Ochsner Health announced this morning that they are going to be laying off 770 employees across Louisiana and Mississippi. This will include IT specialists, some marketers, unit directors, and unit managers. Some of them, not all. They will be offering the clinical staff, the unit directors and managers, direct patient care positions, which would be interesting. And then they also sent this out saying that they're going to cancel the rest of Nurses Week under the circumstances, the unforeseen circumstances. Let me tell you how layoffs work. They're in the works for months. They bring in specialists. They do all sorts of analysis. They interview staff. They have known this was coming for a very long time. The fact that they announced it in the middle of Nurses Week is not only 100% avoidable, they could have done it last week or next week, would have made very little difference, but I would venture to guess that it was not accidental.
And just when you think it can't get worse, bam, student loan caps. Future doctors, dentists, and vets might not even make it to med school. The new cap, $150,000, which sounds fine until you realize that barely covers your textbooks, anatomy lab, and 3 cups of hospital coffee. So now only rich kids get to be doctors. The rest of us will just have to diagnose our problems with Google and prayer.